It's live. There we go. Captain.
All right. Hi, guys. Welcome and thanks for joining us. My name's Adam, and I'll be your pilot today on this flight from D=1 to D=0. So thank you so much to everybody joining us on the live stream and everybody that's here today. How's it going, guys?
Doing well.
Awesome.
Well.
Thank
Never
you.
better.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, super excited to be here.
I'm excited because we're going for number one. Yay.
All day,
Yes.
every day.
Being
Yes.
what's good? All day, every day. All right, welcome everyone. There's a lot of folks with us in the chat today. I'm glad to see everybody here. And we're having a Cardano Decentralized D=0 party. And we just figured we'd just throw the link out to a bunch of folks and get them to come on and say hi to everybody. As we count down to D=0, I do have Daedalus opened up. So as we approach the D=0 time period, which is 29 minutes and 50 seconds according to my Daedalus, then that's whenever I'll put a screen share up so we can do a little countdown together. And it looks like we have Pay coming back in. Pay's back. Hey, Pay, good to see you there. And we're live. We're up and running. And Pratesh, how you doing, buddy? I just
Hey.
I didn't get a chance to say hi when you came in. Leslie, I got a hi.
Yeah.
Got to say hi for a moment. Shweta as well. And this is awesome. It's a party.
It's a party. Yeah, it's going to be pretty great. It's really exciting to see everybody.
Hey,
here.
I can hear you. I'm trying to get the camera working. Zoom's giving me some trouble today.
I'm seeing you on my
can
end,
see
Pay,
you.
so you're
Yeah.
good.
You're good.
You're good, yeah.
Yep, looks
I
good.
really, I just wish I could be drinking Cardano Estates right now.
Yes.
That would have been amazing. I just found out about it 2 days ago. Next
There's a Cardano winery.
Yep.
Nice.
I never heard of that. What's the Cardano Estates? Is it purely a coincidence, or did somebody name that deliberately?
It was very intentional. Looks like it was very intentional. They're on Twitter. Not a lot of followers, but it is an actual vineyard. And they have a vintage. They're pretty much doing Cab Sauv, but the Cardano vintage that they have was, I think, 2018.
Nice.
I'm gonna put it on
Wait.
Twitter.
I'm gonna have to check them out. A good year to start, 2018.
About when I started getting into crypto, so I might want that bottle. Of course, bottles of wine, they don't last very long in my home.
They
That's all
might
I'm
have
gonna
a
say about
capped
that.
supply too, so you get
Right.
Yeah, I
yours
think it
really
was.
fast.
Yep. Limited time only, and we missed it.
That's Umed's sly humor when he said it's a capped supply. He was that was a pun. That was totally get you, Umed.
Oh, is this a pun crowd? Because
Oh, yeah, we'll get punny all day.
Puns, innuendos, all of it. Almost like Deadpool. Where's Amanda? I dropped her link, but she won't. It's like, what is it in Korea?
It's weird time in Korea, yeah.
Yeah.
Way early in the morning, I think.
It's 4:00 in the morning in Korea.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
I was looking for Kyle, too. I don't see Kyle over here.
Yeah, that's pretty early.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I thought Kyle was going to try to join it. He must have had something come up, so.
Sure. I can't wait for Kyle to get Starlink. That's gonna just be a game changer.
He's probably busy with space coins right now.
Oh
Space coins.
Yes.
Yeah, he distributed a lot of space coins recently. I managed to get some too.
We're up to 20,000, over 20,000 automated in the past, I don't know, 16 hours or so. So,
Wow.
Wow,
yeah,
that's
with the
awesome.
the faucet is just going crazy and people are loving it. So if you haven't heard of it, go to faucet.spacecoins.io, get your space coins, make sure you're staking with a community pool, get the aid off the exchanges, get with the community pool. There's tons of us out here, so get to know some of us and pick the one you like, and get your space coins so you can get your hat for the moon ride.
I got a question, and this is honest to goodness question. I have some space coins myself. I also got the set of the Cardano kids. They haven't arrived yet, but they're pretty underwhelming when you look at them in the wallet, right? They're just like this drop-down menu, and it just says, and I would love to see some attention to that. You know, I'd like to see some of this art. I'd like to, you know, does anyone else have any inside information about that?
I haven't heard anything about the wallets, but we definitely need it, right? I mean, we need a view my tokens because we've noticed that right now we don't have the smart contracts, so we're just working with native, basically metadata that was submitted during the minting transaction to try to call these things NFTs or FTs. And I was actually thinking of can we build like a light wallet that just focuses on kind of showing off whatever you've got in there, whether it's space coins or NFTs or anything else. So I think we're going to get there. But it's probably a low priority, I would guess, for the team. You know, everybody's got their noses to the grindstone trying to get smart contracts and full Alonzo and Gauguin out.
Yeah.
We also need
Yeah,
a standard too.
mhm.
You know, there has to be a way to display these NFTs and, you know, a protocol or a website that's built on Cardano that both Yoroi and Daedalus will use, you know, and they're so focused on building the wallets out, you know, that I think they're probably waiting for someone to kind of take that standard and, you know, bring it forward on Cardano. Similar to what happened with ADA pools, you know, how Yoroi integrated ADA pools. It's probably going to be the same thing with NFTs. They're just waiting for somebody to build the marketplace, you know, to display in both wallets.
It sounds like a fantastic catalyst proposal. Hey,
Yeah, all eyes on Adam Dean.
Ooh, what?
Our hopes are on you to build something like that.
Oh yeah, I mean, give me a beer and a day or two, and we'll have something handled. So, yeah, you know, it's awesome to see them. You know, space coins, the fungible tokens are pretty easy because at least you see a balance there, right? If you've got 50 or 5 million or whatever quantity you've got, but definitely it's a little lackluster to just see Spacebud number 3279 and then try to figure out which one that's supposed to be. So definitely would like to see a graphic UI come to play, hopefully in the near future. But I mean, look at everything in, what was it, 4 weeks ago, we were doing the Merry Hard Fork party. And Space Coins was born the day after that. And now we have all these NFTs on the chain. It's been phenomenal to see what the community has come up with.
Yeah. See, I'm really happy just seeing Spacebud with a number in there. You know, I'm used to just seeing ADA that, you know, having these NFTs in there, even if I have to use a third party to see them is pretty awesome. You know, some actual utility.
And I read on Twitter, I saw on Twitter today, someone was saying that who would have thought it would have been NFTs that would have got ADA off of exchanges?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
That was on Twitter today. I wish I knew exactly who tweeted that, but yeah. And it was a point that couldn't be overlooked. That's
Well,
a fact.
Totally.
And
That's a good one.
you know, Space Buds, Alessandro, if you're out there, Barry, and you want to join in, like DM Rick and join us. But I mean, we had people that saw Space Buds and just wanted a Space Bud, right? Like, so they were going, how do I get ADA? How do I get into Cardano now? Because I need to get a part of this. And that's where a lot of these projects have so great a scope, and we need as many more of them as we can get. So if you're out there working on something, you know, like let us shout it out about you. Stop the toxicity and the hate. Nobody's better or like the winner because they were first or second. Just get out there, mint your tokens, mint your NFTs, and share it with the world, because that's what we need more of. We need more of all of you guys.
Yeah, and I've actually done a bit of trading with Spacebuds, and a lot of the people that I talk to on there are people that came over from the Ethereum NFT community. And they're like, yeah, you know, I've never really had a Yoroi or a Daedalus wallet, you know, but I like NFTs and, you know, I like this project. So they came over here, which is, I wasn't expecting to see that until, you know, I actually had the interaction directly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's how it, you know, the thing just grows exponentially. People, you know, come over to this ecosystem and see how we're different.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a cool segment for my show, to spotlight an Ethereum developer who's jumped the fence and is now all in Cardano.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Might be a bit spiteful, I'm okay with that.
I mean, the most simple use case is, the lower fees with NFTs. If you're doing this trading, paying a $50 fee is just too much for, some of these artworks that might not be worth that much, so.
Yeah,
And
you're
it's
taking
not
a lot
about-
of risk there. Yeah, with
Mhm.
paying a lot of fees, because those are hard earned, sort of cold hard cash kind of thing, and you're speculating on the upside, and then the more expensive the transactions are, the lower your returns will be.
Yeah.
Well, also, if there's a crash and come tax time, your bag that you're going to sell to pay your tax bill isn't going to be worth as much. I mean, that's a real risk. If you're buying these NFTs with profits you've made off of crypto, that's not something I'd be comfortable doing at all.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, to be honest, I was quite skeptical about this whole NFT space. I remember doing an interview with Colin, and I said, look, I don't think this Cardano should be about crypto kitties, but I have learned and appreciate, learned how to appreciate especially the algorithmically generated ones, because it's so exciting when you actually buying them, because it's like mining. You never know what you're gonna get, right? And
Sure.
it's structured in a way that you pay 30 ADA in the beginning or whatnot, but your chances of getting a rare one are the same, whether you're paying 30 or 100. So you need to be early, and you need to buy as many as possible. So in the beginning, if the price is 30, for instance, and at the end it's 100, you have, for the same amount of money, you have 3 times as much chance to get, that rare kind of, you have 3 tries at least. So I found that quite fascinating. I mean, I tried only once, and I didn't get the rare one, but it's decent.
It's not about the image either, right?
No, it's not. Totally not. It's about cryptographic signature, and since people are very visual, they just attach a picture to it, and it becomes viral.
That's right. And it's about changing commerce. Right.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, paintings are a pain in the neck to actually store. If it's a very expensive painting, you have to, spend money to store it in the proper location, the humidity and all that, and it's gonna go away. I think it's gonna go away with this new generation, who's gonna be all about these kind of new types of assets that live somewhere else.
I was the same way, at least before Space Buds. I was very skeptical of NFTs, and I didn't really get it, but once I started seeing like the rarity factor, it started kind of reminding me of my childhood playing video games and just doing the same missions over and over and over again to get, a special variation of a gun that I wanted that had a 3% increase, and that's when I had that epiphany. I'm like, okay, this is what NFTs are, especially as, the blockchain develops and people can actually attach video games and skins to the NFTs themselves. Space Buds made me get it, and I will forever like Space Buds because of that.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know that we've even scratched the surface of the functionality of non-fungible tokens. Right now, we're just seeing, little pieces of artwork and that. But I mean, think about real estate. Think about, when we can start investing in real estate for almost nothing because it's been tokenized, or, stocks. Why do we need to be going through, Fidelity or Robinhood when they could be all tokenized and live in our own wallets? I don't know that we have scratched the surface yet of what NFTs can offer. Personally, and then I'm really waiting to see some of those, really functional things. Art is great, don't get me wrong, but I am looking for other stuff.
I mean, that's the beauty of blockchain, right? I mean, it could apply to anything. The basic tenets of the blockchain is to actually use the public-private key cryptography in order to sort of track ownership, whatever it could be. And as long as you can link that signature, and that's the tricky part, right? To a real asset, and that requires actually the government or any for instance, if you're talking about real estate, you have the proof that you own an asset, but you need to have the government to enforce that right. If you have to, evict somebody, for instance, who's squatting in your property, then you actually have a really good living or sort of marketplace. And I think it will go there because the traditional analog versions of enforcing it or making it work are too expensive. I mean, they require too much coordination. They are actually, one of the guests in my podcast basically told me that the real estate market in the United States is very sort of segmented. So it's like on the county basis, everybody has these titles and whatnot, and they don't talk to each other. It could actually be harmonized and made much more efficient.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I can definitely see an NFT to be used as a key for a hotel room, for instance. So there could be a lot of real life use cases around NFTs that we just have to think about it.
Yeah, I think a crucial part of it is going to be government, and which is why I love the way that Charles Hoskinson and IOG has been pursuing that, because without that link would be lost, and you need some sort of authority to basically enforce the ownership rules if they have been established on a legal basis. And that's where the tricky part is. In developed countries, there are mechanisms that work, and if you replace them, then you actually basically make entire industries basically redundant. All these real estate agents and whatnot, what are they going to do, right? They will have to repurpose their life into something else. And the blockchain is so disruptive in costs that it just decimates these industries. If you accept it, then it just basically becomes like there's no need right now. There's no need for MoneyGrams and Western Unions for that matter at all.
Oh.
But they still exist because there's inertia. But I think in 3 to 5 years, they're going to be completely gone. Visa itself is going to be disrupted, I think, which is why they're transitioning their backend into blockchain, because that's where things are going, and they'll see the margin squeeze very soon.
Yeah, I remember back in 2018 when I first got involved with crypto, and the credit card companies saying that they weren't going to honor transactions with Binance or whatever. And I can remember having more than one conversation with credit card companies about that, even closing some accounts. So it is very encouraging for me to see Visa, building a infrastructure to accept cryptocurrency. The way I got into crypto, the way I got my bag is the credit card companies send me 0% checks for 15 months for just a 4% transaction charge. So I would use those and get 100,000 chunks of ADA at a time, and then just work to pay that off. So my bag of crypto is thanks in large part to Citi and Chase. And so I'd just like to tell them thank you right now, because they changed my life.
Nice.
Oh, that is
Good,
so
good
cool.
game, Citibank. We'll see you in the bankruptcy court.
Hey, Andrew's in the house. Yeah, welcome.
Everybody.
Hey, what's up, Andrew?
Yeah, just had a few minutes between day job meetings and thought I'd come say hi to y'all.
Nice.
I like your background.
Glad you were able to make it.
Love your
I
background.
decided to clone myself, so I could be two places at once and do all the day job and the stake pool operation together.
Is that the background that's live in your day job meeting that you're skipping?
Yeah. He's actively tuned into that work meeting right now.
No, it just ended, and so I thought I'd pop in over here.
Oh, now it's a party. Everybody's piling in. See, they saw how much fun we were having.
Oh wow, yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Sebastian.
This is James. I'm still fighting with my camera.
Yeah, I was thinking a little bit more on what you said, Umed, how cost is really going to replace a lot of these industries. Well, also, effectiveness. When you have Hydra, and you have all of this data on the blockchain, and you also have people building, for example, AI on top of the blockchain that can view all of this data, not only cost, but effectiveness will replace these industries as well,
Yeah, one of the applications of AI that I'm really looking forward to, it's probably the lowest hanging fruit for us as an ecosystem, is remember how we're supposed to pick the transaction fees, every, I don't know what the current blueprint is,
Right.
but every maybe quarter, maybe half a year. But we could definitely say, hey, to an AI, say that here are the maximum and minimum ranges of transactions fees we would like you to pick, and you go ahead and pick it based on the market conditions, and then feed that AI with through the oracles the price, the exchange rate, ADA USD, and it will always be in a very optimized zone, so that it would maximize security and usability at the same time, or have some sort of a good trade-off there.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you could essentially just sell that as a service to a centralized website, that is selling that to regular customers,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to basically seeing what AGI is going to be doing on Cardano. It's probably one of the exciting things, blockchain plus AI.
Well, as fascinating as this entire conversation is, I think we are within 10 minutes of D equals 0 time here, guys. So
we're coming in. We're coming in.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm just warning everyone right now, I may cry a little. I get emotional. It's happened. I think I got an email once. It must have been in July, whatever it was, and I cried.
This has been a long road for a lot of us, from the ITN days through HTN, and now starting at D equals 1 and then stepping it down. It's been a really long and tough road to hoe, but we're here. This is the first leg going fully decentralized, and it's just the start. It's the first domino falling, and the rest to follow. Like, this is how we change the world right now.
Can you imagine what's going through Charles Hoskinson's head right now?
Well, we invited him to join us, so Charles, if you're out there, feel free to hop in. All the cool kids are over here. Not on your own AMA live stream thing going on. So
I wanted to say thank you, Rick, for having me on. We celebrated Shelley together, so it makes sense to celebrate D equals 0 together. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, you bet.
Yeah.
And thanks everyone for being here to enjoy this moment together. I might cry too, Leslie. I might cry. There's times where I almost cry, and I just sometimes can't,
It is just a little bit overwhelming to be part of something so important, so huge. And, you think about it, you feel it ongoing, but then that actual moment hits you in the feels, as they say.
absolutely. Hey, Clark, can you hear us?
Hey, guys.
All the way from the
Hi.
Philippines.
Yep. Nice to be in the call with this start moment.
What time is it there?
It's 5:30 a.m. actually, which is normal for me nowadays.
Yeah. Nice.
All right, look
Like
out,
you were
everybody.
saying, look how far NFTs got. Oh, Kyle Solomon's here. You got Kyle coming in. Hey, Kyle.
While driving.
Yeah,
Okay.
the familiar Kyle in the car background.
I think he drives to the top of the hill to get the good reception.
So, as you were talking about NFTs earlier, and I think the most amazing part is, look how far native tokens and NFTs have gone, even without smart contracts yet, right? Space Coins took off. Adam put together the faucet at the fountain. And what was that URL again, Adam, for people who just recently joined? I'm going to throw it over in the chat. I'm going to pull it up real quick.
Yeah, well, I lick a lot of windows, so it's called the Space Coin Fountain, but it's actually faucet.spacecoins with an s.io. So, we all get to ride the short bus from time to time, so don't feel bad.
And how does that work again? So if someone sends their ADA, walk us through a real short version. I'm going to throw the link over in the chat.
Okay, yeah, like real quick. Number one, get yourself a Shelly address and go and delegate your ADA to a community pool, because if you try to go and use the fountain and you're not delegating to a community pool, we're going to keep your money. Consider it a donation. It's actually going to our friend Raymond with his grow pool. You know, if you lick windows and can't follow my 5 simple instructions, that's on you. I have a disclaimer. It's right there in black and white in HTML3 or whatever I did that website in. So you're going to send 2 ADA to the fountain, the faucet, whatever you want to call it. We're going to look at it. Assuming you haven't already gotten some space coins before from the faucet, we're going to send you 50 space coins and send you 1.5 ADA back with a quarter ADA of every transaction going as a donation. We're already, I think, pushing fairly close to $200 in the last, or 200 ADA in the last 24 hours since the faucet has been live. And what we want to do is give out these coins for free to everybody so that everybody can have native assets. Everybody can see what they look like. And best of all, CZ, since you didn't join our web stream, we're trying to take your money and put it in community pools is what we're trying to do. So I'm coming for you. I'll call you out publicly. So go to faucet.spacecoins.io, get your space coins, stake with community pools. That's what it's all about.
That was a brilliant setup because both people get to practice, right, before these really high value assets start showing up on Cardano, because they will. And they get to play with space coins. It's a lot of fun. Give a little target practice. And I think that was brilliant. Plus, with Raymond and Grow over there, you turned it into a charity to fund the donation process. Absolutely brilliant, man. I love your work. And hey,
Can we hear
Raymond,
a little
tell us
bit
a little bit
about
tell us a little bit about that. What's the charity it's going to? Or how's your charity working out?
Hey guys, just want to say hi, and it's amazing to be here with all of you. Honestly, it's an incredible group of stake pool operators and entrepreneurs and contributors and developers. So the way it works is there are 2 different forks for the way donations work. One is a global action fund, where the money goes out to serving children all over the world. I don't get to choose which children get that. Children in need all over the world get it through Save the Children. Save the Children has been in business for 100 years. So they've learned the hard way of how to get to the hardest reaches places and do the most for the most children. Okay, that's why I'm aligned with Save the Children. Sponsorships are a little different. It's more of a direct relationship with the children. So $39 a month is enough for a single child to receive the clothing, shelter, food, and medical supplies they need for an entire month. $39. It's amazing. Right now, we're sponsoring 8 children with the pool, and we hope to sponsor 26 by the end of the year. So all of these donations here will go to the Global Action Fund. We may, as a group, decide that we want to sponsor children with these funds, and we'll all decide that together when that time comes. I'm certainly open to supporting that. Otherwise, it goes to the Global Action Fund.
Brilliant work, Raymond. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you guys for that. And it's an incredible community for even making something like this possible. Honestly, think about this for a second. Right? People who don't even know anything about crypto are benefiting from the power of Cardano right now, for what we're capable of doing as a community for them. And I really do, as a vision, see this as a full circle. Someday, some of these people that we're serving, some of these kids specifically in Ethiopia right now, where we're focusing our impact, are going to come and be a part of our community. We'll be talking to them and hearing their stories, and that's going to be amazing. I hope to be around for that.
What else is really interesting is that this is a whole new paradigm shift in charity when you think about it, because I can delegate to your pool, Raymond, and I'm not losing anything. I'm still getting rewarded every 5 days, every end of the epic. And yet you're taking proceeds, part of your profits, and doing charity with that. So it's there's nothing else like it. It's brand new, and it's just it's a game changer. I mean, I hate to use that. I use that a lot, but when it comes to charity, this is really something brand new, because I'm not losing anything delegating to you. I'm just delegating to your pool because you're doing good things.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Thanks. And again, it's amazing, and I hope, and if I'm watching my Grafana here, we're just over a minute away from the boundary. I can feel the excitement. Yes. Wow.
Oh, there we go.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Wow.
What a mind.
I have
What a mind.
goosebumps.
All right.
All right. I might start shedding some tears too. Jesus.
Well, and real quick on a last note, I wanted to thank Andrew and Martin actually for coming up with the whole idea to take space coins. At first we were just spending tons and giving it out. Andrew and Martin came up with the idea to donate with the leftover space dust. So kudos to those guys as well. Here we go. Top 10 countdown. Ready? 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
2,
1.
Wow.
Oh, we get fireworks?
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Actual fireworks.
Hell
I
yeah.
love it.
Put some work into that, didn't
guys.
Oh, they did a nice job, actually. I like it.
That's cool.
That's such a nice touch.
Is that the app doing that?
Yeah.
Is that Daedalus?
Yeah.
It's either that or Rick.
Oh my.
Wow.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
That's Daedalus doing that.
Cool.
That's not me. It's Daedalus. It's still
cool.
going. The fireworks are still going.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, come on, Martin, get us those
It's
party lights.
just
going
forever
back
now.
there.
That's
Come
what
on.
that screen
I wanna
is.
see
It's
it.
just fireworks.
So do we have to figure out which pool generates the first block with the real?
Well,
It's happening. It's happening
because then it
already.
gets
It's supposed
hairy.
to-
'Cause- No, it still gets hairy because there's still a switch in there. Once they pull those training wheels off and it's like really decentralized, then I think that makes sense. But maybe we can do it. I don't know. This is my personal opinion.
You know what? If it's Buffy, nothing is going to stop me from shouting it all over Twitter. That's all I'm saying. So,
So this means I have to stop saying the 8th block.
yeah.
Fuck.
Well, no, it just means somebody else is going to come out with something a little bit more.
Yeah. Right, well, mine was slightly different, so it's better than yours. Yeah, the classic. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, everybody, say hello to Teen 1 and Teen 2.
I'm Team 1.
Oh, hey guys.
Hey, guys.
What's up, guys?
What's
Okay.
going on?
They both made blocks last epic.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
I made
Awesome.
four of the height
So
of
awesome,
my
man.
Oh,
entire life.
congratulations.
Kudos.
That's the actual future. Like all of us kind of being at least adultish in age, if not by mentality. These kids learning from this age, they're going to be the crypto masters and really just accept that or embrace that new future with open arms. And that's awesome.
Is that Crypto Masters? Come on.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Go Masters.
Now that actually makes me cry.
Oh,
Yeah, my wife's a musician, and she decided to get into the Cardano staking because, for one, I'm always doing this, so she figured it could be something that we could do together. But also, her pool, she's putting it out there as people could support her as a musician just by staking, not have to pay for the music or anything, because the music industry is kind of hosed right now as far as buying music. But so she kind of likes to make the music available for free anyway. So staking is a way that people can support her music and her art and so forth. So it's spreading in those ways as well.
I would love to talk to your wife and do a segment on that. That's really dive in deep to that. That's really cool.
She's probably she'd probably be a really good interview if you'd like to do that. So yeah.
That's definitely offline talk, because that's it's not just about charity. You've also got people like your wife doing this kind of thing, and so she's able to offer her music for free, and she's able to do that because of this stake pool, which is generating passive income. That's awesome.
So amazing. That's awesome.
It's like a Patreon except stake pools.
Yeah, we've all come a long way. That's for sure. We're not crying about the price anymore.
Funny how
Yeah,
price
right.
solves a lot of
Right.
problems.
When 25 cents, Kyle. When
Yeah.
25.
Yeah,
On the
man,
moon.
good times. It's just nice having to. It's weird. It's almost like we're moving in a paradigm shift. You know, like at least for me personally, I've been able to focus more and more on Cardano, put more time into building, and it's cool to be able to start to see all of these things come together. Not only, but to be on the forefront of influencing it. That's pretty awesome. You know. All these things that we're building out, these ideas for the faucet, this is just stuff that's happening on whims. It's like, well, what if we did this? And then it's real. And that's unbelievable with what we've got. The faucet is the beginning of something amazing. It is, you know, Rick said it today. It's potentially, you know, a pseudo DEX. It's one side of that. I mean, what we can do with the ability, I mean, we can do ICOs right now if we wanted to. We literally could do ICOs if we wanted to without smart contracts. Oh, sorry, scammers, if y'all are just figuring that out yet. You know, I mean, shit, but it's here. So it's,
you know,
it's
another
really
great example of this, Kyle, is going to the SpaceBuds Discord, where they're actually doing third-party escrow services without smart contracts. You know, so
That's
we're sitting
right.
here watching, you know, a centralized baby NFT marketplace, you know, before we get the real one when smart contracts come out, you know, in August. So it's really cool to really be on the forefront of this, and seeing the escrow service, I was like, wow, okay, I love it.
It actually, I thought it was funny, and I was remarking to a couple of friends, you know, like a lot of the younger crowd that are very trustless by nature are like, what's going on? How could they possibly sell something? I'm like, have you guys never been to a flea market or to another country where you barter and you haggle? Like, this is just how commerce has happened since the dawn of time. I had a shinier rock than you had, so let me give you 2 goats for the shiny rock, and we'll make a deal. You know, that's just commerce. You know, we can do these things. We don't need the smart contracts. They're just going to make it better, more secure, and more reliable. But to see how fast everything came up around SpaceBuds was just phenomenal.
Yeah, and it's funny to see like the digital reputation attached to it. You know, when someone, if I'm interested in purchasing a SpaceBud, they'll say like, "Are you the real Big Pay?" And then I'll prove it. You know, I'll show them a little piece of paper with my name on it and put their name, and they're like, "Oh, okay,
That's real fame, yeah.
I need a picture of you next to today's newspaper.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody has asked me this before. Okay.
Yeah, we're getting kind of technology when AI starts shape-shifting, and we need to prove some of these things on the spot. This is the kind of stuff we want.
That's right.
So we're starting that right now. It's going to be necessary.
Or couldn't you see, you know, politicians or celebrities, prominent people releasing maybe an NFT along with a video statement to combat these deep fakes, which are really, really, I don't know if you guys saw the TikTok with Tom Cruise. That wasn't really Tom Cruise, but there was no way to tell that this was not a real video.
I think this is where the private public key signatures are going to come into play, because if I'm on a video, right, and the platform has an automatic way of verifying my identity, like a Prism, for instance, right? It's a perfect example for that. And if they have a dynamic way of identifying my identity as, you know, Umed Saidov, right, then it will become green. And otherwise, it's going to be like, oh yeah, this is not a real guy. And I think this is something that cannot be, with the current you know, capabilities of computers to crack it, for instance, you know, cannot be cracked. Even if you have an AI mimicking you that might look very quite convincing, you still have the cryptographic way of proving who you are.
We're going to need something. There's definitely going to need to be something. I don't think the solution is to outlaw deep fakes, because that's just means the criminals are going to have access to it.
You can't outlaw things. People are going to do it anyway. So of course, my favorite right now is that lawyer who is a cat explaining to the judge he's not a cat. But, yeah, I mean, it's like right now, probably the biggest focus should be on trying to detect if somebody's faking something, because technology is going to get progressively better. I saw where somebody released this big study saying that you can identify because the reflections in the eyes are often different in the deep fakes. So just joking, I responded saying, "Oh, thanks. I'll add that to the algorithm." You know, so it's like they're just going to keep moving along. You know, every time you find something, they're going to do something else. But yeah,
there are ways of analyzing the video and determining whether it's been manipulated or not. But you know, like you say, those are methods that are constantly changing to meet different demands.
Hey guys, I wanted to shout out to everybody that's listening. If you are an SPO, this was a pretty rough, epic transition. So if you're not checking your pools, just give them a glance. It looks like everything's recovered on my end, but it was pretty rough for about 7 minutes there. So, and still down some peers. So if you need to go and check right now, we won't hate you for tuning out of the live stream. Make sure your pools are up and running. It was a pretty rough one.
Yeah, it's all good now on my end.
They can do both. Nodes on one screen, YouTube on the other. Good.
Yeah, I've got the big 27-inch monitor here behind me, looking at the Grafana stats, and it was rough and rocky, but we got through it. So, better all the time.
I'm still watching for the first block after the switch.
Yeah, I've been refreshing ADA pools for that too.
Yeah, I got ADA pools and pool tool up. See which one grabs it first.
Oh, Rick is going to give us stats.
We're doing that.
We are doing this.
Of course.
Screen share it.
Who got it on Shelly? Was it 1%?
Yeah.
It was,
The first community block in Shelly was 1%.
Congratulations, dude.
Yeah, 1%.
Give you a shout out too.
I think it was.
speaking of the nodes, I've been having fun setting up a node for Starlink. So I have Starlink set up on my roof right now. And if anybody has an IPv6 address on a node, let me know, and I'll see if we can set it up or compare between ours. Starlink, the router that comes with it doesn't offer any port forwarding or anything. But if you put your own router in, you can get an IPv6 address. So that's how I'll have to do it. So yeah, just let me know.
All right. Well, thank you for being a trailblazer for that, because I'm waiting. I've got my pre-order in. I already paid my money for my Starlink to come in for some of the more remote properties and traveling that I do. So glad somebody's blazing that trail for us. So
it's a real nice kit. The I got the cable management kit along with it, like the little tube of silicon gel. Has like the Starlink logo on it, but basically it's just like a dish, the stand. And it's got like a power brick for a PoE, which supplies power to their router and to the dish. So you don't have like any power adapters to plug in. You just have this one power brick, and then everything plugs into that. But you can, even though it's a PoE port, you can plug a regular router into the internal port.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So I would really like to get a yacht and live in a yacht.
It'll work.
James knows what's up,
guys. That's all I want. I just want internet, so I don't gotta sit outside a store and steal their internet.
Right.
So I can go on live stream.
Kyle has to drive down to the Starbucks, buy a coffee.
Cry. Quit talking about that shit. It's coming sometime this year. It's coming, and then I'm gonna talk all I want.
I'm rooting for you too, Kyle. I'd interview you a whole lot more if it wasn't such a pain.
Oh, everybody would. I get it. I get clowned on everything I do. I'm like, yeah, no, I get it. It's all good. It's coming this year. I just don't have a date. I pre-ordered.
Charles is on, by the way, so he might be losing audience really fast.
Oh,
it does happen like that.
Okay, I'm going to give you
40%.
If we're live and Charles goes live, don't say Charles went live, because then they leave.
Yeah, it's a surefire way.
Or did it?
He's
So the chat always exposes you.
Chris did that. I'm gonna check right now. Okay, nobody leave. Do a raid. Bring everybody from Charles stream over here.
Yeah. Dude, they were already gone.
We love you,
we were at
Charles. We wouldn't be
350
here.
and
if it
chat's
weren't
like,
for you.
Charles is here. Charles is here.
We got to bring him back, Martin. I think we need the party mode.
Yeah.
No, nobody left yet. There's still 250 people here. Thank you.
Come on, Martin. Turn on the party lights. We that'll get Charles over. I know it.
Just went up.
Look, Charles, do you have this going on?
Yeah. Yeah, where's
Start
Chris?
changing our backgrounds.
Somebody get him to join this chat, and we'll be set.
James, change your background to Charles, and then we can say we have Charles on our.
All right.
I'm working it. Let's see, where is he?
We didn't say Charles was talking or live. He was just on the stream. So we can cover all the bases. But oh yeah, so
Still
exciting
still
times.
no block yet.
I want to say, yeah, no
No
block
block yet. I'm seeing the heights go up.
Well, it's not showing,
Yeah, it's
isn't
just
it
not synced.
DB
It's
sync
not
on
calculated.
multiple data pools?
DB Sync might have gotten wrecked. Yeah, I just
Yeah, so you're looking
barely
at it
got
on the
the
node.
Cardano scan
Yeah, DB Sync
epic
got wrecked.
alert.
Actually done a transaction, so definitely there's been a block.
Yeah,
It wasn't as high as the last one though. It wasn't 257. It was like closer to maybe 180 or 190. It looks like.
Hey Rick, do you think about that pizza that you bought?
Yeah, I think
Not
about
until
that
you
pizza.
mentioned it.
Really? You think about it later. Like maybe like in a year, I'd think about it.
That pizza was delicious. I regret nothing, and Cardano cupcakes were 110% worth it.
You know, I
Why?
like-
Because we're driving adoption. It's just like space buds. It's just like space coins. It's anything that gets more wallets in more end users' hands that have never heard of and give two things you can't normally say on live streams about crypto in general. They're not here to hodl and try to store wealth. Get it out there. This is supposed to be cryptocurrency, and the only way to have a currency is to spend it and transact it. So the more things that do that, the better we all are, And
Oh,
there,
look at-
he's got
look
the
at that.
box.
Charles is here, by the way. Yeah.
Oh, Charles, thank you for joining us. And
Yeah.
I love what you're done with the environment behind you there.
Hey, hello everybody. By the way, it seems that Binance has made the first block.
Oh, no, come on.
1% and then
Worse.
Binance.
Not
What a
surprised.
surprise.
Wow.
If you check,
You know what?
Roll it back.
Yeah.
Can we
could
get a
roll it
fort?
back.
Can we?
That'd be crazy. Roll it back.
Are you
Cardano
sure? I see
Classic right
Binance
now.
made the last block of the last epic. Did they make the first
They
block
made
of the first epic?
first one. The
Guys.
first non-Binance is Rocky Mountain Pool. So they.
Oh,
take it
Rocky.
down
There you go.
Rocky.
Mountain.
Nice.
They're in Canada. Yay!
Well
Yeah,
done,
he's
Rocky
been doing so
Mountain.
good. He's
Of
grown so
that.
much.
Yeah.
Just so we're clear, guys, because Rick's wearing a Space Coin shirt. I've been talking about this, the fountain faucet whole thing this whole time. When we're saying community pools, that's not BNP, not eToro. Get the money away from the exchanges. Stake it with all of these wonderful individuals that you see on your screen that are the true heart of decentralization. Everybody on here has been a part of that for months, if not years at this point, and they all deserve your support. So
You bring up an interesting point because what is the definition of a mission-driven stake pool? Is that someone who's giving to charity? Is that someone who's using that to fund their music? Is that someone like my pool that we're just doing a newscast and trying to get as much delegation as we can? What is the official and who's the arbiter of that truth? I mean, who gets to decide that?
So,
James, I will tell you, I'm on a mission to buy myself beer. So just so we're clear.
So the definition of mission driven is whatever people want the definition to be.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good different missions. Like my mission is going for #1.
Yeah, I'm on a mission. That's right. Damn right. Yeah. I mean, what the fuck?
And you know what's funny is Hester Pierce, commissioner of the SEC, also AKA Crypto Mom, has said the definition of decentralized is hard to define what the definition of decentralized is. And she's been on Laura Shin's podcast and several different podcasts, and she explained this kind of stuff. And she said it's hard to get a decentralized organization to describe, basically, not quoting her, to describe what the definition of decentralized really means. But what she did say is for tokens and coins that ICO, give them a three-year grace period and allow them time to create a network, let the network take place. You know, that's in the United States, of course, because it's the SEC. It doesn't affect the other countries. And she said, we don't know how to define decentralized, but we will know it when we see it.
Oh, that's like porn too, right? You'll know that when you see
absolutely.
Maybe I've seen some weird stuff.
Yeah,
Can
I mean, people have different definitions of what they.
No, I.
but
the actual, if you think about this second layer of services or goods, whatever you have, right, that pool operators bring to the table, I think it adds to the decentralization, because if you think about just pure profits, then you quickly will end up with majority of the stake going into very low cost pools, and very well sort of the ones that basically give you the most ROI, right? Now, if you add an extra dimension in case of your wife, James, for instance, music, right? In case of James Keever, it's newscasts or whatnot. So giving the news. In case of Raymond, it's charity. Then it becomes the two pools on top of just earning the ROI or ROS. They are not compatible, because you will find your audience that will be unique to you, and that's how you drive the decentralization, because technically you cannot have at this point, at least, when I questioned and pinned down Lars Brunies, I said, is there any way we could solve this, two-dimensional, the dimensionality of this issue, so that there's more than one sort of gradation or dimensions to value the pools? And he said, technically, there's none. So you have to add these kind of extra dimensions in order to drive the stake to different kinds of pools for different reasons. And somebody could be in Africa doing African things. Somebody could be, so the clientele is very diverse. The world is diverse. They have different triggers. They have different priorities. You could basically say, I'm just going to be all about beer, and I'm just gonna right, and that's fine. And there's going to be somebody else who's going to be about something else, and the stake will find a way to find you.
May I interject? While you describe a generic situation, and you are totally 100% right on the different nature of many pools, to answer James' question directly, at the very beginning, the mission-driven pools specify charity as a mission. And then we defined that philanthropy was a broader term that would include many other pools making good for society, if you allow me this term. So that specific group is about philanthropy. Then anybody is free to fund their music or the beer, but that specific question was about the mission-driven ones, and I think this is the answer.
Imagine what a nightmare it must be for input output and the Cardano Foundation to figure out who they're going to delegate to, and to have to make that decision. It's just I don't envy the person who has to do that at all.
I think they kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit, right? Because they're the ones that set what their parameters for their stake was. And one of the things they said was, we're going to give to mission-driven pools. Well, we've already established that could be different for every single person you ask, and so either you have to draw your line in the sand and say, no, it's mission-driven equals charity, or, and that's where we stand, and that's what we're doing, or they could have just said, you know what, we're going to pick the people we like and we're going to give our money to them. Like, they could have kept it easy. They kind of painted themselves into a box. And I think a lot of it has to do with, we all want to see Africa succeed. We all want to bring in billions of more people to the global economy, and how that's a win for everybody and in everybody's book. But at the same time, I know Charles and a lot of other people in this community are staunch libertarians, and it's, survival by the sword, a little bit. It's eat or be eaten in a libertarian society. So I don't like too much the over focus on who's doing charity or who's helping Africa, because I think we're kind of tunnel visioned there. I was just recently in the Caribbean, which could use a hell of a lot of help and needs more attention. especially in this COVID time when tourism has just decimated their economies. So I think we're kind of too hyper focused on the charity aspect sometimes. Not that it's not necessary, but that it shouldn't be the be all end all.
Another thing we're not thinking about, we're not really discussing, is this idea that all charities are good. And, you know, quite honestly, some of them maybe you would disagree with morally. All right. And so the
accountability, are they even actually doing what they claim to do?
I think
right. Well, Raymond can talk about that because he's using transactional metadata to verify his donations.
Well, it's accountability of what the charity accomplishes too, right?
Right.
I mean,
There is,
charity.
you know, being in this position as a charity pool, I when I first came into this ecosystem, I can see that Cardano is still very young and very new. So too much charity from an ecosystem like this will dilute it and can actually hurt it. And so I kind of retrained myself to broaden my view of what I was doing and starting to look at what it really meant to be a mission-driven pool and look at other charities. What's going on? The truth is most charities fail. And they fail because they're kicking themselves in the ass with being puritanically what's the best way to say it? They demoralize themselves and they don't properly budget their fundraising campaigns. So they end up having a smaller impact as a result of their puritanical value system that they've inherited, okay?
I've done a lot of work with 501c3s, and one of the best pieces of advice from somebody that had a long-running charity I've ever heard is run your charity as a business, otherwise you won't be in business for very long.
That's right. And that is what I ended up seeing. I started looking at charities more carefully and how they were reporting. Were they fiscally transparent? Were they actually achieving their outcomes? How many of them were going out of business and how quickly was this happening? And unfortunately, it happens a lot. A lot of charities do fail with their missions, mostly because they don't know how to budget the mission properly and make the scaling impact that they can make and need to make. Right? They end up holding themselves back in the places where they should be exploding. And so that's another reason why I think over time, and I'm hoping to see that with this ecosystem, it will start to move from charity to a peer-to-peer lending protocol rooted in the infrastructure of Cardano, right? As Charles spoke about and what Kiva's doing. Imagine taking that kind of a service and being able to run it on the technology that we're building here. Right. That's really something that I'm seeing as a vision for what we can accomplish. The other thing I think charity pools and charity mission driven pools like myself can do, and what I'm trying to do and start working on developmentally, is looking at how to offer the stakeholder a choice of which charity that they actually want your profits to go to. Right. I chose Save the Children. It's a lot of work to market a charity pool in this ecosystem, right? I can't market all of them. Over time, and with help from some of the other pools in this space, we can start to give stakeholders the option of actually voting through an interface that's proportional to their stake, where they want the profits from the pools that they're staked in to go to, and offer them a menu. I want to help with clean water. I want to help with education. I want to help with muscular dystrophy. I want to help with cancer. I want to help with this. I want to lend in this way, to these many people and track their progress and have accountability within those spaces, right? So we have all of these things that are available to us here. And I'm actually glad that I've seen some of the tension, even attacks on me as a pool, on Grow and the mission of Grow from the Twitter community. Usually people come in hard and they're like, oh my God, this is so bad. This is disgusting. You're evil. What are you doing? And I go back and forth with them for a while. And what I see at the end of that debate and at the end of all of that tension is we look like something to them. We look like someone that wasn't doing what we were saying we were doing. They already came with an experience, a bad experience that they had somewhere else. So after listening to what was actually happening, what was being done, that we were actually serving children and they were benefiting from our action and from our ecosystem, they had a change of heart. But it took me, I remember at one time, I went from 1 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock in the morning going back and forth with someone to help them understand this. And the last words they said to me is, those children are lucky that you care. They went from a tax to this is crap to get out of here to this is bad to those children are lucky that you care. But I had to give 5 hours of my time to help them see that there are places that this works and there's also places that this fails. And we need to learn how to distinguish the difference between them so that we're not wasting our time and money. Absolutely.
Yeah, you mentioned, Raymond, that you would like to give them a menu of options, and this is exactly why we're building Pool Tool. Because when we started thinking about where this ecosystem is going, we realized that pool operators will have to have a direct relationship with their stakeholders, and I'm not talking about a stakeholder that pretends to be a stakeholder, but you have no way of knowing through Telegram or Twitter, but
Right.
a way to cryptographically basically verify them. They don't have to be verified, who they are, but they could be verified that they actually stake with you. And then you kind of build a relationship with them, and you will have a dashboard where you could basically poll your stakeholders. If when we finish this product, you will be able to poll them and say, is the menu of options for you. Where would you like me to direct the charity that I'm collecting from you, whatnot, the money that I'm collecting. So those kind of options will be built in, we're trying to basically make it so that everybody, whoever has a second layer of products and services to offer in addition to stake pool operation, they should be able to do that. So that's exactly why we are here to build this pool tool.
That's awesome. I'm really happy to hear that, by the way. I wasn't aware that you're working on that. So that's fantastic. Definitely be talking to you more.
Absolutely. We basically envisaged it in our proposal when we basically put it together. We got the funding and we're building it right now.
Awesome. Woo, this is what it's all about. Being in the Builders Club, man. That's one of the things about this ecosystem that really honestly surprised me. When I first came to Cardano, I personally didn't realize how damn competitive I was. And then I didn't realize that there was a space where I could not only be competitive and race to win, but I can help the people around me to beat me, to be their best also at the same time. And that everybody was working to be their best at the same time and win at the same time. And that there's a community that actually supports and makes that possible. That honestly is one of the things that makes Cardano incredible for me. And I think it's one of the reasons why success is inevitable for this ecosystem, because it's aligning that fierce energy that we all have as human beings toward a common good, a common vision, a common solution to the problems that we see in the world. So we're in the right place. So I'm happy to be surrounded by an incredible team like you guys.
Yeah, I have to reiterate that I've always wanted the feeling of mentorship, and to go from literally maybe 6 or 7 months ago to have seen a few YouTube videos and now actually be sitting, not in the room, but sitting in the room with those people. It's incredible. It's such a short path because of this opportunity. It's amazing.
What's
We're
going
very
on,
lucky.
James?
It was a really short path for me too. I was just making a few videos, just screen capping my computer, and a couple months later, I was on Rick and Philippe's podcast. Somebody I've been watching for years. So I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's surreal for me as well, because for years I was watching Rick and Peyton and there weren't that many YouTube content creators. And when I started doing the show, I found myself talking to everyone, and it was just I get real starstruck. It's a character flaw for me, and I can remember talking to all these people, Hashoshi, Kaizen, all of them, and Peyton, and it was.
Well, it's funny how because what we do is so genuine and it's so true to us that when I hear you talk here, James, it's the same as when I watch your video. You know what I mean? So it's like when you first come at me, that's where the starstruck comes from. It's like, whoa, it's just the same guy.
Yeah.
It's funny.
It's the guy from them YouTube videos.
Yeah, I talked to Dave Likes Crypto, and it was the same thing. I was like well, it's just him, you know.
Yeah.
Yep. I love that.
That's the beauty of it, right? We're all free to just come and be as weird and window licking as we want to be, or as we are in nature, and just be yourself, come as you are.
You got a problem with those windows, Adam?
Yeah.
Look, like there's just that one spot, Andrew. I'm gonna get it one of these days. It's just, you know, like.
So Andrew,
Work on merit. You know, it's not a community where, you know, we don't respect the loudest voice. We respect the hardest builder. You know, that's awesome. And that's really what I like. And all you got to do is, James, you proved it. You just got to pick up a shovel and dig, give to the mission. You'll get your respect and you learn your spot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I just got to figure out how to get more delegation, because I've got to change something up. In fact, I'm gonna Saturday is I'm gonna do my first live stream.
Let me challenge everybody, every stake pool operator, to look at it a little bit differently. Yes, delegation sustains you. But look at it like this. Take a step back and say, how can I get myself more ADA? We are in an unprecedented time for opportunity right now. Unprecedented. So look at it like that perspective. You can grow your stake pool business. That's one business model. But if you look at it from how can I get more ADA, I promise you the answer to that question is bigger than growing your stake pool business. So there's opportunity everywhere. That's all.
And also, as we head into Q3, you know, in Q4, we're going to be seeing parameter changes. You know, the stake pool game is going to be different. So, you know, the mission right now is to have enough ADA to be in that pledge sweet spot for your stake pool.
That's
right. We know what that is?
Because if we have no idea what it is, right?
Yeah.
We were estimating like 1 to 4 million when ADA was 10 to 25 cents, right? So who knows what it will be at now, you know? But that's
the whole reason me, Dave, and Isaac got together and started United Stakes, because we thought in order to have a successful stake pool, you had to have over 1 million ADA as the pledge. And that just is not true. Hopefully, moving forward, it will become more influential as far
You, us, everybody, James.
Yeah, everybody.
You're not alone.
It's
one thing my wife's been doing.
It's a tricky thing, though. You know.
Yeah, I remember doing this episode with Rick, and I created this, you know, Excel table, you know, trying to pinpoint where every stake pool operator is going to be and what the pledge will be. And then I saw some really, really big numbers out there. It's like somebody had 10 million in pledge. I was like, oh, I thought I was the big guy. And, you know, it turned out that there are such, you know, big bags out there. To be honest, I think it's going to, from what I have read, from what I understand, it wouldn't be 1 million, because then it will completely, you know, prices people out.
Yeah.
So it probably will be in
like
hundreds.
India and Africa. No one would be able to
The
handle
reason
that.
I think they didn't roll with a pledge to start with is because I think they didn't want to deal with the public outcry that would have had, you know, from the ITN operators who worked really, really hard, who couldn't bring a pledge to the table, you know, because ADA wasn't paying at that time. I think by introducing such a drastic pledge, will do the exact same thing. You've got some that have been able to be established, but, you know, if it comes in too high, now you've got ethics in play. You've got Cardano Foundation that's thrown away delegation and basically enabled the winners, things like that. And so it's going to be a very interesting, quite controversial time in our community.
Yeah, because it is really controversial, you know, because when you increase A naught, you're going to leave out a certain percentage of people no matter what you increase it. And looking at it, security is most important, right? So it's going to be a very controversial time, because right now that security that is supposed to be there for pledging to pools is not there. And that's why you can just essentially pledge 0 and gather stake with low fees, you know. So that will only get worse over time. So something obviously has to be introduced to fix that. So you know.
My wife's pool has only like about like 2,400 in pledge, and that's like from donations she's gotten, you know. And you know, she's building delegation like for people who aren't in the Cardano ecosystem, you know, like in like a Facebook group that she has. She's been getting people that she's interacted with there before she got into Cardano into into her pool, and it's been quite a challenge getting these people signed up on exchanges so they could buy the Cardano and stake. But she's bringing like brand new people in that haven't ever had an interest in this before. But at the same time, it's like if she only has a couple thousand and pledge, if you needed like 1 million or something, that makes it kind of hard for that sort of concept to happen.
Yeah.
Well, and I think we
would
should
like to follow up on what UMed said about pledge, because we had that discussion. UMed spent a lot of time running the spreadsheets, and they were very reliable and very accurate. They took into account K, A naught, other parameters, A zero, and we did a podcast with Duncan and Lars, right? And we asked, what is the optimal pledge? What is the target pledge? And the answer is, well, it can be anything. And they're right, because that's what the market decides, right? And there's raising A naught looked like at first that was like the best way to go. Probably still is. But what I would like to encourage everyone to do, I don't like to tell people what to do. I like to either encourage people or I do it. I'm just going to do stuff. And then people can see, oh, look, he either got wrecked or it worked, and then maybe I'll try that too, right? But I encourage people to give IOG your feedback, because nothing kind of hurts my heart a little more in Cardano when I say, hey, let's try something with the parameters. Let's try raising A naught. Let's try doing this. What is the optimal pledge? We figured it out somewhere between 1 and 3 million, which turned out to be not accurate, or not relatively accurate. It still kind of works, but not really. But when people reply and they say, oh, what's IOG think? Let them figure it out, because they're the experts that are researchers. And I'm thinking, no, that's not what decentralized looks like. Decentralized means you're getting your inputs on. We don't have voting yet. That's fine. We don't have voting. But if you think something should work, like Sean McMurdo, Sean rewrote some math, right? And put in a CIP and said, hey, let's try this, right? The curved pledge. So now IOG is looking at it. Before they raise A naught, they're going to put in that curve. There will be, once you apply a curve, there will be a point of diminishing returns. There's going to be a point of diminishing returns going up, where if someone's pledging 15, 20, 30 million, it's going to taper off, and they're not going to get greater and greater returns at some point. There's also going to be a point of diminishing returns on the way down on that curve, where if you drop below a certain amount of pledge, you're going to get wiped out, okay? So what I encourage people to do is give IOG their inputs, the Cardano Foundation, give them your inputs on what you think that number should be, right? Because they're not, I haven't seen any surveys. Has anyone here seen any surveys? Raise your hand. I ain't seen no surveys.
James
seen
brought
surveys
up
for stake pool operators, but not.
Yeah.
So
James
what
brought up a
should
really
that
good
number be?
point.
Because right now, if you pledge 100,000 ADA, you are you're basically putting $100,000 to run a pool, right?
Oh man, if I had to pay 100,000 walking into this, I wouldn't be here. I am so blessed.
Yeah.
I am so blessed to have done this with all of you guys. I mean, my life's changed. I still live, frugal, but I don't have to worry about, what's going to happen tomorrow. And so in that regard, I can't even imagine walking into this game. And even, a buddy of mine wanted to do a stake pool, and I was like, well, hey, maybe I could help you out with 25K ADA pledge. And it was just so, we pull that stuff so easily. And he just looked at me like, really, then I realized the disconnect of, wow, okay, new individuals coming to Cardano, 5,000 ADA is a hell of a lot to these people. And that's a drop in the bucket to us, at this stage in the game. It really is. That's a epoch on a pool, a good pool, or whatnot. Well, maybe not one good pool. Maybe. Yeah, really good. But
hey guys, as much as I love this discussion and it's awesome, it's early for a lot of us that are in the US, but Martin here has been up till the middle of the night in Austria, and really cool stuff is happening. Like, we're getting to the point where you can actually set up your entire, for new pools only, this is for new pools only, you can set up your, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Martin, but basically have all of your cold keys for your pool on your hardware wallet. Raymond just had a really good public story about the pool getting compromised, a wallet getting compromised. So Martin wanted to kind of just demo on testnet for everybody that is still tuned in and watching, like how cool and easy this is. So I want to turn the floor over to him so he can get some sleep sometime tonight.
I thought I missed this. I'm glad I missed this.
Yeah. So let's see if we can pull this off. So let's share some screens.
Martin, did you notice that the Trezor has something built into their firmware for this? Are you tying into that, or is this not connected? Or maybe I should just shut up and watch.
For now, I only know it for the ledger, but I'm pretty sure it will come to Trezor soon, because the firmware and the app is developed by Vacuum Labs, and they're doing the software for both the ledger and the Trezor stuff.
Cool.
So can you see the screen right now?
Yes.
Okay. For those out there that are not familiar with the stake pool operator scripts, when you build a new pool, when you maintain a pool, you're doing this all on the CLI normally. And there are courses out there like this one from the Cardano Foundation and many others, tutorials how to set up your Cardano node itself. And when you look at all this commands, what you're looking at right now is all the stuff you have to do to adjust a simple transaction. Yeah. And I really recommend to all new stake pool operators out there, read through this, practice, and at least do it once, so that you really fully understand how a transaction works, and what you have to do to register a pool on the CLI, what certificates do you need, how to generate them, and so on. To make the life a bit easier, I've started a while ago to wrap those commands into a bunch of small scripts. This is the intention is to be able to look into each one of these, and to understand it, to analyze it, to learn from it, and it's a total different approach than, for example, the guild is making with CN tools. This is more the all-in-one package. And hey, is this the real? Okay. I think we get some Charles in here. And
you just bought.
Okay. And yeah, it looks a bit overwhelming at the beginning, but let me show you something. So let's try this. Do you see the bash, the shell?
Yes.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So when you look at them, they are you don't need all of these. We will just use a couple of them for the demo right now. And we will try to register a pool on the testnet live. And the first time, I think, a world premiere.
Live coding.
If it works, also with your cold keys from the ledger. I have a Nano S here. So let's change the directory. Nothing much going on in there. So first, let's make an address, and yeah, let's call it owner, and we want this to be a hardware wallet, and the script reaching out using the Cardano hardware CLI from Vacuum Labs.
Okay.
And requesting the public key. It's the same as you see in a Daedalus wallet or Yoroi or Etherlight. So let me quickly
And Your
confirm that.
Excellency, Ambassador Abed, you got a few minutes?
I do, sir.
Man, this is really shitty news, man. So what
Hey, it seems like I can change my background now.
I think
Is it
so.
just me, or can someone hear Charles in the
Oh
background?
yeah, he's here.
Yeah.
He's on the phone with somebody though.
He's on the phone.
Okay.
Okay, should we continue or should we wait for Charles?
He might be a while.
I think
Continue.
we can probably mute him.
I think I heard him say something about shitty news, so please
Yeah.
continue.
Okay.
Yeah, continue. This is good.
Okay.
Rick, can you mute him while he's on the phone?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea actually.
Okay, so with this command, we just created an address, and let's pretend this is a pledge owner or stake pool owner address, and this is now from the hardware wallet. Let's fund this this address a bit. So from the testnet funds.
I can't see the bottom. Can you see the bottom? Scroll down a little bit. Okay, there we go. Sorry. Yeah, people can see it. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, let's put. So this is another short command, pretty self-explaining. You send Lovelaces to an address, and let's put, yeah, let's say 10,000K in there. Okay. So now the question is how fast. Oh, did we just miss a block? Let's check. We can query an address easy. Okay, there it is. It's already there. The next step you have to do is to register the staking address on the chain. It's just another command. You want to register the staking account, and what's important is with hardware wallets you have to register the hardware wallet and pay for it from the hardware wallet. It's not possible to register the staking address of a hardware wallet with funds from another wallet. So this is now requesting again the key from the hardware wallet. Let me quickly confirm that. Register staking key, confirm transaction. Okay. And as you can see, the scripts are, yeah, they talk a lot. You see all what you're doing. You see your body. You see your signed transaction here. Let's confirm that. Okay. So now our stake key is registered on the chain. While we're waiting, okay, there goes a block. We can check this pretty quickly. Okay, it's on the chain. So now the funny part, we have to create cold keys, and all the scripts with the for just for the node cold keys. And normally you would just call this, let's say, party. This is only a file name, and now we call this party, and we wanna generate this with the hardware key. Let's see. Okay, and I don't know if you can see this. It doesn't focus. Okay. So it tells you that it will export the cold public key. Okay. And as you can see here, normally you get your verification key. That's the V key. And all keys that you're generating with a hardware wallet, same with the owner, you can pull this up, is not an S key and secure key and signing key on the CLI.
Nice.
It's just a hardware signing file that is pointing to the right path inside of the ledger. Okay, we have our cold key. Let's generate our VRF key for the party pool. That's it. Let's generate some CAS keys. Okay. So next step, we need an operational certificate for the block producer pool. Same thing. Okay, it knows automatically because of this file extension that it's on the ledger. Let's see. Okay, and I don't know if you can read this, but it says start new operational certificate. Okay, let's approve that. It tells you the issue counter, the cache period, and a few other infos. Okay, so basically now we have all the files that we could start up our block producer. Now let's create the metadata and the pool registration itself. Let's call this pool party. And the stake pool operator scripts are using this format. It's just the file name of the pool. You give them the pool.json, and in this JSON you can basically you set your owners, you set your rewards, you set your pledge, your margin, your relays, and so on. Let's do this quickly. Here the party pool JSON. Okay, so let's make a single pool, a single owner pool, and we use the same name we used before. This is for the pledge owner. We can use the same for the rewards. You can separate them if you want a separate rewards wallet. For the pledge, let's go with 5,000 ADA, and with the costs with the usual one. Okay, and let's say we have 5% margin. Let's enter a relay. Let's call it test relay blah blah com. I hope this is not a a relay. Okay, let's make it. Okay, doesn't care. The pool name, party pool demo. Description, yeah, party pool d equals 0, live stream demo. Okay, there you set your ticker, homepage. Okay, and here you set your metadata. That's the URL where you will upload your metadata for your pool. You can host this on GitHub or on your own homepage. I will use a domain from mine. We will not use an extended meta-URL for this demo. Okay, so basically you can quickly set up all your settings. Let's save this. Now you run again this command, and it generated the certificate for the pool. You have an overview here with your settings, and you have your party pool certificate. And it tells you, don't forget to upload your metadata JSON. Okay. Important, as a pool owner, you also have to delegate to your own pool. Pledge is only just a normal delegation. So let's generate a delegation certificate for that. That's another short script. We want to delegate to the party pool, and we want to delegate the owner. Okay. So now the funny part. Let's register the stake pool, and we will make a mistake here. We register the party pool, and we will use the ADA from the funds for that. Okay. And what the scripts are doing, because this is a common mistake many SPOs are making, they register the pool before they upload their metadata. So the scripts are reaching out and trying to download the metadata before and comparing the correct hash with the registered one, because we've seen so many failures from people copy and pasting it through GitHub and so the carriage return line feed is converted and so simple mistakes. So let's upload that file to the web server. Okay, so let's see if it's there. Let's curl it back. Okay, it's on the web server. Now let's call this again. It reaches out. So it fetched the metadata from the server and checked the metadata hash that this is the correct one. Again, you see all your settings. You see that this is a pool registration. Sorry, it's a bit late. There's a pool deposit, 500 ADA, and the fees you have to pay. So in total, you have this 500.19 ADA to pay. Does this look good so far? Okay, yes. So now it checks that the node are living on the hardware key. We confirm that. Let's see if we see some action. Yes, okay. I have to confirm this transaction again on the ledger. And they added so many informations. You actually see your F key in there, your pledge, your cost. They also added relays. I don't know if you can see this. Okay, not working. But you see the DNS name of your relay on the ledger. And the port and the metadata URL and so on and so on. Okay, let's confirm this. Okay. So this was these were the node keys, and because we are going full hardware, we have now also the owner. So again, and this does not have to be the same hardware wallet. You can swap it out. Of course, you can do this with many. Let's confirm this pretty fast. Okay. Okay, so we collected all the witnesses. The script tells you this is a pool registration. If you do this again, if you want to change some data, if you want to change your pledge, if you want to change your fees, you just change them in the metadata JSON and redo the last two steps. The script tells you that all witnesses are ready. It generates the TX, the signed transaction, and we say yes. Okay. So an important thing to do, a last step, before we only had CLI keys, so we would be able to combine the pool delegation of each owner or owners, if you have more, within the pool registration. This is not possible if you use a hardware ledger, because with a hardware ledger it's only allowed to have only the pool registration certificate in the transaction. So the scripts tell you this. Okay, here a hardware wallet was involved as a node or as an owner. So the last step this open is to delegate to our own pool. Let's see what the syntax is. We have the delegator name. This is the owner, and we also have to pay with the hardware wallet for this. Let's do this quickly. Okay, transaction. Set delegation, yes, confirmed. Okay. Okay. That's new. Okay, what do we have in here? Okay, have to dig into this. This is a brand new code. But basically, what we did, we registered a pool. We have the cold keys on the hardware ledger, and let's see if it picks up that fast. I don't think so. Yeah, there it is.
There
Okay.
we go. Testnet pool. And what was that? 20 minutes and everything stored on hardware.
Amazing.
Yeah. Fantastic, Martin. That's great.
Yeah. I have to
Very
dig into
nice work.
this. It's maybe
Well,
work in progress, and it's like 3 in the morning there at this point, isn't it?
look at
Like,
that.
so.
ODSPO make a nice tool
So-
for all you new guys that we
Yeah.
can't use. Y'all should be happy.
And okay, this is right. Now it's development firmware on the ledger, and yeah, it will come soon. I've talked to Raphael, and also hardware about the catalyst voting. We will see this also soon. Yeah, maybe not for Fund 4, I guess, but I'm pretty sure for Fund 5, so that we'll be able to vote with the funds on the hardware wallet.
Freaking awesome, man.
That is awesome. Martin, you are
so cool.
The man. Like, without
Legend.
your script repo, like the Space Coins fountain faucet wouldn't exist. Like, so much of the pools on the network wouldn't exist. So thank you for all the hard work. And I know, like, you hardly ever sleep trying to keep up with this stuff since the early days. So
You're welcome.
Yeah, I just want to say that, I built a drawer manager tool that's kind of similar to Martin's stuff. And there's a reason why it's similar. It's because a lot of the ideas and concepts came from his repo. So shout out to Martin.
Absolutely. I agree.
I also
second
want
that.
to shout out to Martin. I am in the Cardano ecosystem simply because of Martin. He has been very helpful from like over a year and a half. And every time I send him a DM, he's always responsive. Thank you, Martin. I appreciate you.
You're
Ahmed
welcome.
or Lawale from Unkwa that was talking?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
And I
Do you need to
everybody
say?
who's
sorry.
actually creating a pool down the road, or thinking about creating pools and storing their wallet, the keys in their hardware. We will never catch up with you guys because our pools are attached to us now, pretty much.
Do you need to save the hardware keys, by the way, the hardware files, to back up those, or you can?
No, you have to back up this, because they when you initialize your ledger with your seeds, you will always get the same keys out of it. So even if you lose them, you can delete them. You can't do pool updates without them, okay? But even if you lose them, you can always regenerate them. They will be always the same, yeah.
I wonder if it'd be possible to reverse a seed for the ledger based on your stake, your older stake pool keys. It might not be.
No, it goes.
Hopefully not.
It goes only one way.
well, yeah. My thought was, if you had the private keys, would you be able to figure out a seed that would be able to generate the same private key? Just to be able to move it over to the ledger. But it's just a thought. Probably not. But whatever.
I talked with Wacom Labs, so there's a chance so we can secure our existing CLI keys via the ledger, but it's not really possible. Yeah, we talked about things like encrypting the current CLI stick node key with the internal secure key of the ledger and so on. But it's clear that this device is not made to encrypt things, and also you can't be sure that your node key was never exposed, because you had it on your hard drive, you had it on your USB key, and this would let's say this could suggest a false save and save heaven, because they're saying, hey, now they are on the hardware wallet and no one can.
You wouldn't want to encrypt and store in the ledger, because that's like not an option on like the Trezor. But I mean, I guess what I was thinking is, if it would be possible to create the seed words, to use those words to restore your ledger to a totally different seed, and if that seed can match up with the private keys. But as I said, I don't know if that's possible.
You'd have to brute force everything to make that work, and that's probably not possible.
So you can't just take the seed. You can't just take your private key and generate a seed from that.
No.
Okay. No.
Yeah.
No. Otherwise,
had that discussion before. I think it's impossible to map those things. Yeah.
Yeah. So all of us, we're stuck, but the new guys coming in, definitely consider grabbing a ledger or a Trezor and putting all of that stuff on hardware, because you don't want to learn that lesson the hard way.
Yeah. And the last safety tip, you can use a PIN code on your ledger in addition to your seed phrase, and it's called passphrase phrase on the Trezor. Really recommended to use this one. That way you can also use the ledger for multiple accounts.
Right. Yeah.
And it's similar for the ledger. It's like the 25th word, and you can set up that you have to type in that word every time you plug it in, or you can link it to an additional PIN code, and this will generate a new seed within the ledger.
That's how I recommend people use the Trezor, because if you take your 24-word seed or use the Shamir backup, if somebody were to compromise that, you could have a small wallet without a passcode, and then you can have larger wallets divided.
Yeah.
With
So
their passcodes.
if someone forces you to expose your crypto. Your cryptos, you can just use the standard ones, and with 1,000 ADA on it, and they will be happy and okay.
Or customs even. I didn't say that, but yeah.
I never heard that.
So thank you again, Martin. I know it's late, so if you need to jump off, by all means, go get some sleep. You deserve it. Out of random curiosity, was that the actual Charles that joined the stream in the middle of Martin's demo there?
Yep.
He's still here.
He's still there, it looks like.
He's hanging out.
What I did is I shifted him over to the waiting room, and then he hopped back in. I didn't know if someone added him. Okay. And so he hopped back in. But Martin, awesome. Huge thanks. Atata Stakepool, ATADA, Atata. And so if you got to get some sleep, I'm going to take that clip. I'm going to download it and repost everything you did. I'll put a link to your GitHub and all that kind of cool stuff.
Okay.
So re-upload just a clip of that demonstration, because that was fantastic, man. You have a real skill right there. You could train the entire world how to do stuff live.
Appreciate you, man.
It's always risky to do it live, but what happens.
Yep. You did it and it worked. And there's no great reward without great risk. And you took it and you did it. And you built it. Well done, sir.
Right in front of us. Thank you.
Yeah, one minor delegation certificate. We're not going to hold that against you. So.
Yeah, I have to dig into this.
Now he's not going to sleep.
Right? Yeah, he's going to be up and posting an announcement about the next version.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But... Okay. Okay, thank you guys. It was a pleasure for me. It's about 1 a.m. here in Austria, and have to get up early in the morning. Okay.
Good night.
Hey, bye.
Thanks, Martin.
Thank you, Martin.
Bye.
Same here, guys. I'm leaving as well. Same time in Germany, so thanks a lot for having me.
Guten Tag.
Ciao.
Same in Italy.
Bye.
Love your
Thanks,
taco, by
Vic,
the
for
way.
the invitation.
Bye, Squirtle.
Take care.
And when Clark started, it was dark, and now the sun rose.
Right, yeah, like it's practically noon in the Philippines right now.
Global.
All right. And that's if you guys are okay with it, I think that's a good wrap point. I really enjoyed having everybody here. Does anybody want their nickel back? Any by the ways, anything you want to touch on? And otherwise we will wrap it up, and I'll bring down.
The only thing I want to say is it's not that big of a deal, but I think I got like an hour left on the clock. It's probably not going to happen. I was hoping I could get 10,000 space coins transactions this month. We're close. We'll be close. We'll get it tomorrow. It's okay.
Don't
Hey,
forget,
Kyle.
it's faucet.spacecoins.io.
Space coins.
Kyle, I've been helping you with those transactions, man. I've been
Did your
bundling the
mama some
Kaizen
space-
tokens and the space coins.
I've seen it.
See, I did a 2-for-1 for you there, buddy.
No, that was awesome. Thank you very much.
It's
Who
definitely
here needs
happening.
space coins? Clark, did you get space coins? James, you got some?
Yes, I have some space
Yeah,
coins.
someone sent
And
me some. Yeah.
I'll
and like, I
relink
can
it.
send some space coins through outer space now using that little Starlink dish right there.
That they're actual space coins.
Yeah, yeah.
Courtesy, like space coins in space. So
I wanted to reiterate that
Sure,
if anybody has an IPv6 address on a node, just let me know so I can try to configure my Starlink node to talk to yours, because it's the easiest way right now with how the Starlink network is set up is to do it through IPv6.
I'm gonna help you with that. I do want to do it,
James,
so I'll come back to that.
Tag me.
What was that, Kyle?
Tweet that out and tag me, and I'll see if I can't push that out too.
Okay, cool.
I think
All right.
Einstein was experimenting with IPv6, but let's not go into that yet. We'll go into that. And we'll do
right,
that
that's
on
a different
Zoom.
show. Different show.
Yeah, it's a different show. So let's around the room. Anybody else? Any more by the ways? Nickelback.
Hey, Rick,
All right.
thanks for inviting me. I came in late, but thanks. I appreciate it.
Oh, that's fine, Steve-O. We're going to do more of these. We got Alonzo coming up, and I think Pratesh, where'd you go?
Yeah,
sorry,
are we gonna
yeah.
do that at Kaizen? I don't know if the Zoom is gonna handle all the people. I mean, Rick, I don't know how you pulled this off, sir. I mean, just well done. I mean, podcast legend for sure.
Oh, when Rick tells you he's digging another trench for the fiber line through the garden,
Yeah.
he's not joking.
I don't think
that's
my
not a
bandwidth
euphemism.
would handle all this.
Literally dug the trench. Yes. So no. So I've got the Zoom Pro. If anybody ever needs to launch 100 up to 100 people, use Zoom Pro, or I have Zoom Pro. I can dial it in and bring it up. If you give me your stream key, I can link it in to a custom stream, so I can bring up your streams with 100 people in it. But unfortunately, I would have to be dialed in also, if you could tolerate that. All right, so yeah, and so that's all I got. If you need help, let me know. I'm working on bringing up the Cardano Live podcast, and if you want to see how that works, if you want to come over on a Cardano Live, if you have a project you would like to put out, Cardano Live is going to be 20 to 30 minutes. The target zone is 30. That's a sweet spot. The average attention span is 17.5 minutes. So those of you who are still here, 170 people are here, you're champions. 170 people still dialed in. All right. So 20 to 30 minutes, no more than 45 minutes. That way people who are at work during the day or it's nighttime over in the other side of the world, they can catch up later when it's available. So that would be the Cardano Live podcast. If you've got a project that is for Cardano, let me know, and I can get you up on Cardano Live, and we'll get that out there. But one of the key things with Cardano Live is no advertisements. I won't be advertising on there. No monetization. The only ads will be whatever YouTube slaps in there that we can't stop from happening. So, all right, I just want to let you guys know. And you're all awesome. Let's do this again. We'll work something out for Alonzo, and Cardano's going to be building forever, so feel free to just let me know. Hey, let's have a party on your channel, wherever you want to do it. Let me know, and we'll get the word out. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
That was
If
awesome.
you want to hang tight, you can. I'm going to bring down the stream. Thank you, everyone who has been participating here.
Thank you, guys.
I appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you all, and we're going to wrap
Thanks,
it up.
all.